Hello everybody, I'm Alfred, and the video we're about to watch is the trailer for the movie The Quest. Now, I wonder if this is, this something has something to do with the video game, the Quest video game. But let's check it out.
Okay, everyone here? It's
It's
so
real life
awesome.
scenarios are brought into a fully immersive fantasy world. So it's actually based on the video game.
We should try to find out where we are.
To compete in a reality
We
show.
need to be ready for whatever stands ahead of us.
Like nothing ever seen before.
What combat experience do you have in your world?
Copied a couple wrestling moves that were explicitly said not to try at home.
This is very interesting because of course there's the Quest video game, and this is an interesting way because it's a reality TV show, like people being sent to an island, but they are sent to this world which is created based off the video game, and it gives the writer a lot of creativity. And when it comes to linking the video game world with the real world and with the characters, so the characters are kids and the characters are not bound to the worlds and the thinking and the reasoning processes of characters in a game or characters in a world that we cannot relate to. So this is an ingenious way of putting kids and people who live in today's day and age, people who see what we see, and people who have feelings and a thought process that we can relate to, but putting them in the kind of video game fictional world that has its own rules and all of that guidance, but this is under the guise of it is in a reality TV show. So that in itself, the writers did a good job in that kind of setting up and framing. So there's a lot of things that can now do, because now how the characters react are things that we can relate to precisely, so they are not relating to it based on, oh, this is how a character in a Mortal Kombat video game will relate to it. It's kind of like picking somebody in the real world and throwing them into, like, them being sucked into a Mortal Kombat video game. So that person is not in that Mortal Kombat type world and all the rules and all of that. It is somebody that we understand was in this same world that we are in, and probably at the same time, and as in the same time in history, so we can really relate to them in this strange and fantasy filled world.
Got it.
Grab your swords.
And of course, using kids is a move that that's the same thing with Harry Potter. Kids relate to kids better than adults when it comes to the screen. So there is that, and like attracts like. So this is going to become a hit with kids if it is, especially if it is a series and the writing goes full force. It's probably will basically be like the next Game of Thrones when it comes to impact and popularity. If it's going to be a series, based on what I can see right now, it's just the movie.
Not everything in Everrealm is as it appears.
I know everybody here wants to win a challenge. Do you trust everyone on the team?
From the producers of The Amazing Race and The Lord of the Rings.
The magic of Everrealm is everywhere.
Of course, I talked about Harry Potter, also this magic now. This is the commonization of magic and witchcraft. It is something that Satan is doing intentionally, and has it desensitizing people to it, and there's the impact that this has on people, because people now start those kinds of ideologies and things from that will start seeping into the real world flow of ideologies that real world people have, because this is a way of indoctrination and the sensitization towards witchcraft that people once considered an abomination, in previous years. These kinds of things warm people up to it, and it gives free way for demons. This is why it's very important for Christians, or for us to start the companies, to us to beat the Disneys, the Paramounts, the major studios, and not just in America, all around the world. So a lot of times we ignore the whole world. Look at the whole world. We must have the great and the largest companies all around the world.
Only you can redeem the sacred bond between Everrealm and the Fates.
There are 8 ways in and only 1 way out. Let's go.
I think there's a bigger goal at the end than just winning.
Oh my gosh, how do I get out of here?
And now the quest begins.
The quest.
They're all very hesitant. They were like, teenagers are gonna help us save our kingdom.
Underestimated.
Only on Disney Plus.
So, in any case, if you're watching this, you have to understand that, there's no story like a story that is told from a Christian perspective, and it's important that every single story is told from a Christian perspective, because that is the perspective of truth. Jesus Christ is truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. There's no such thing as your truth or their truth or my truth and all of that. There is only one truth, and that is Jesus. And his perspective, seeing things through the eyes of the truth makes seeing things through the eyes of Jesus, seeing things through the eyes of the Word of God, because his word is him. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was God. So Jesus is his word, and since Jesus is truth, his word is truth. So things have to see through the eyes and through the perspectives of the word of God. So all stories have to be told from that perspective, and when it is not, what we have is darkness and lies, and an opportunity for you to be deceived and for you to be led astray. That being said, if you'd like to be a part of making Christian content that will take the world for Jesus Christ, influence the world for the gospel, reach out to us on Alfred.vip. We are looking forward to hearing from you. And if you want to start a movie studio, cartoon studio, video game studio, whatever, don't bother with the money. Don't think money. Just take the first step. When you take the first step, you see that you can take a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth, and so on and so forth. Those are the steps of faith. Just keep on going. And now, if you're a pastor, we understand that your general department, that is your movie studio, just register a company, let it have under it a movie studio from your general department, let your general department be making shorts, skits, post it on TikTok, post it on video sites, post it on YouTube, you have, a church, of course, so take this seriously. You can put together some create sets and all of that. Start your own series. Let the brand developer start his own series and create content. Let it be available. Let it lead people to Christ, and also invite people to your church through the content that you create. Then your choir is basically your music studio and your music company. So the company that you start, that your church starts, so you have your church, the non-profit, and then the business, the organization that is registered as a business that your church owns, so that you have the freedom to do a lot of things. There are a lot of things that you need to do for the gospel, but you cannot legally do as a non-profit. So you have to register, a for-profit company, and then, be able to do more things, and of course, you get your choir. Let that be your, the base for the music company, that you have started. Let the choir has its own albums, let it release the album, like, they are able to release an album every month or every 2 months or every 3 months, not just one album a year. And let people within the choir release solo albums also, through the church's music company. It's very important that you do so. And encourage people in your congregation that can sing, you know, or are interested in it. Let them join the choir, and of course they will get the voice training and, you know, all of that within the choir, because, you know, and the choir practice and all of that. So they'll train themselves and get used to performing to an audience, you know, that is your church and all of that, and they'll improve. That is actually part of the reason why a lot of singers in the world come from the churches, because that they, in the church they had this system already there where people, you know, join the choir, they are basically receiving free singing lessons and free experience, you know, to sing before a crowd and all of that, you know, to the point where they finally get good and all of that. So encourage people to join the choir, encourage people to join the drama department and all that, you know. So that being said, if you're not giving your life to Christ, about to go to Alfred.vip, click the salvation prayer link in the main menu. When you do that, the page will come out that has the prayer of salvation. Say that prayer telling God you want to become a Christian and give your life to Christ. Thank you, and God bless you.